Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief for Wednesday the 22nd of September. A little bit of a rocky night last night in the US, quite important data, particularly from the Fed FOMC, actually supported the market during the afternoon, but it succumbed to some profit taking. The Dow only managed to close up just a little bit. US dollar relatively weak again, had a bit of a lift there in the Aussie dollar again, which is looking quite strong. Also had a little bit of lift, not a lift in the Aussie dollar. We also had a lift in gold. So it looks like gold's actually going to hit that 1300 level. So let's see how that all unfolds. Okay, let's have a quick look at a little bit of an overview as to what's happened around the world, usual things. And we'll just grab that there so we get a good understanding as to what's going on. That's more of the commodity space, but let's have a look at the overview. Okay, the Dow, as I mentioned, managed to squeeze out a small gain. It was up 7 points, 10,761. The S&P was up 11 to 1139, down 2.93. Nasdaq was off 6.48. Europe's still relatively weak across the board there. People are concerned, obviously, with what's happening in Ireland and Portugal, but nothing concrete there yet. The top 50 was down 8, the FTSE was down 26, and the CAC was down 3.6. The DAX was down 18, so things are relatively negative over in Europe still. Let's hopefully see that we come out of that malaise pretty soon. Remember yesterday we heard leading economists in the US said that they're out of the recession. So let's see how that really does actually unfold. And let's see some positiveness in the equity markets. Okay, let's have a look at generally what's happened. US dollar still under a bit of attack there. Came off quite a bit lower there. Looks like it is quite weak. And really, I guess if it takes out that 80-50 area or that low there, then I can probably suggest that US dollar trend resumes down to that 78. That would certainly allow that gold to trade to that 1300. So quite positive on that front. If the dollar weakened, with the dollar a little bit weaker, we did see crude oil pretty steady, but if anything, they're relatively steady, coming off its highs. And as you can see, there's still concerns dogging it. The interesting thing here is that the US dollar has been weak, but some commodities have been weak as well. So it's that to me is a theme which we've got to try and sort out. Copper came back. We got stopped out of our copper position last night, and obviously that was a break to new highs. It didn't eventuate, so we're just coming back and consolidating. That was a break to new highs, so I'm not too worried about that. Looks like the market does come back a little bit lower from here. Looking at gold 1286.40, looking quite strong there. And as you can see, we had that lift after coming down to 1270, and probably expectations are there for it to reach that 1300 number. Aussie 95.34, and there's that little lift again. And as you can see, probably expectations are for it to continue to go. The trend looks quite set from there. You can see it also looking at the euro, that the euro looks quite firm as well, certainly with that spike towards the close. Now, it all happened same time at the FOMC meeting. Announced, or Bernanke came out and said what he had to say. Okay, just having a look at the local market. 46.38 is where it's trading, and as you can see, yesterday we did get that pullback. Looks interesting. Whether it's a double top up there, I don't know, but just be rest assured if it takes out that 4600 area, that we can perhaps go quite a bit lower. But given the rhetoric we saw, we might get some support. Remember yesterday, Governor Stevens came out and suggested that rates would be going higher in Australia, and that certainly put a damper on the really positive returns we had out of Europe the night before. Okay, having a look at some of the other softs, particularly corn, for instance, you can see why we're a little bit interested that gold's going up, some commodities are going down, yet the US dollar's down. So it certainly is that nexus needs to be described a little bit more as to what's happening, because we also saw it in wheat as well. So it feels as if the market is concerned on the demand for commodities, given the fact that we're looking at a QE2, and I think that's why we've seen it all come under pressure. But would be looking to lose positions in all my commodities at the moment, and indeed perhaps even take on a few small shorts somewhere along the line. Okay, cotton, this is a good one. I just thought I'd put that up because it's had a great run. A lot of farmers, I think, would be looking to put cotton in this year, just purely because it's reaching those heady heights where it makes cotton, when it makes it very profitable to actually put in. And that's been a very strong rise there from 90, as you can just see there. I'll try and get the daily there so you can have a good look. There it is. In fact, let's see if we can get a weekly there and get a bit more data on board. Yeah, but as you can see, looking quite strong indeed, even back to levels not seen for a long time. So a lot of people will be looking to try and put some forward sales in there. And if they can, let's just hope that Aussie comes back to make it even more profitable for the farmers. So quite good on that front. Okay, in terms of economic calendars, what have we got out today? We've got Westpac leading index in Australia. We've got all industry index out of Japan. Bank of England minutes will be widely watched, and industrial production there in Eurozone. Housing price index in the States month on month. Eurozone consumer confidence. I think it's going to be a little bit negative actually. I think it's just feeling that way. And of course we've got all the Department of Energy data in the US. So quite interesting at the moment. We're not holding too many positions on board. Obviously that's small gold. It's a week long. Copper out market, so we're just looking there. Dollar yen was still long, and that sort of came back a little bit, but let's see how that unfolds. Okay, that's about it from me. Hope everyone has a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.